This is my FIFA World Cup prediction for the whole World Cup. First, we have Germany versus Paraguay. I'm going to predict Germany to go up on top on this one because they just have the most strong squad out of the two. Next, France versus Sweden. We obviously know the answer. France with one of the best attacks we've seen in a long, long time. Next, we have South Africa versus Canada. After that 6-0 win, I'm convinced that Canada will win this game. Next, we have Morocco versus Netherlands. This one could be a tricky game, but I'm going to predict that Netherlands goes out on top. Next, we have Croatia versus Portugal. Two GOATs with Modric and Ronaldo in these games. I'm going to predict that Portugal wins this game. Moving on, Spain versus Austria. Spain just has an overall really good attack, and they have the star boy, Lamine Yamal. I'm going to predict that they win this one. Next, we have United States versus Bosnia. I'm going to predict that United States goes out on this and goes into the round of 16. Next up, we have Belgium versus Senegal. I'm going to predict that Belgium wins this one because they have the strong midfielder, Kevin De Bruyne. Next, we have Brazil versus Blue Lock. No, I'm joking. Brazil versus Japan. I think they both have really strong squads. Usually Brazil's going to flop at the World Cup, but I think they'll do pretty good this time. Probably not win it, though. Brazil moves up. Next, we have Ivory Coast versus Norway. This is a hard one, but with Erling Haaland being on their team as the main striker, I'm going to predict that Erling Haaland goes up. Next, we have Mexico versus... How do I not know what that is? Oh my god. We have Mexico versus... I'm going to predict that Mexico goes on top on this one because I don't know the other nation somehow. Next, we have England versus... Oh my god, I don't know it. Okay, cut that out. We have England. I'm going to take England in this one because obviously they're England, you know. Next, we have Cabo Verde versus Argentina. You already know who we're taking. They have Lionel Messi, and they also have pretty good midfield and defense. And they also have Emi Martinez as their goalkeeper. So I'm picking Argentina. Next, we have Australia versus... Is that Iraq or Egypt? I can't really see it. But even out of those two, I'm picking Iraq or Egypt, whichever that one that is. Next, Switzerland and Algeria. I'm going to have to say Switzerland on this one. Even though Algeria have a strong side and a lot of strong players, I'm still going with Switzerland. Next, we have Colombia versus Ghana. What happened in that Ghana game against Portugal was just wild. So I'm going to have to go with Ghana. Next, we have the round of 16, being Germany and France for my prediction. I'm going to have to take France on this one with the way stronger squad. Next, we're going to have Canada versus Netherlands. That is a hard one, obviously, but Netherlands is just insanely way better. And in previous World Cups, they've shown that they are a top dog in this tournament. So I'm going with Netherlands. Next, Portugal versus Spain. Lamine Yamal versus Ronaldo. I'm a Ronaldo fan, but I also like Barca. That is my favorite club, and I'm rooting for Spain in this tournament. So I'm trying not to have bias, but I really do think Spain will go through. Next, we have USA versus Belgium. Now, I'm going to have to go with Belgium just because of the midfield there. Even though Kevin De Bruyne is a little bit washed. A little bit, I said. He's not really that washed. He's doing good recently. And that's who I'm rooting for. Next, we have Brazil versus Norway. Both are strong sides. And Erling Haaland does have the quality. But I really don't think Norway are even going to make it that far. So I'm going to have to go with Brazil. Next up, we have whatever that is versus England. And obviously, yep, we're going with England. Next up, we have Argentina versus Egypt or Iraq. Can't really tell. And I'm going to have to go with Argentina. Next, we have Switzerland versus Ghana. And I am choosing Ghana. Next up, we have all these crazy mashups, including France versus Netherlands, Spain versus Belgium, Brazil versus England, which would be a crazy match to watch, and Argentina versus Ghana, which is arguably the easiest match out of all of them for Argentina. Now for the predictions. France versus Netherlands. What I'm going to say here is Netherlands is a very good side, but France is the more dominant side, and they're going to score a lot of goals, and they also have a very good goalkeeper to not let in the goals, being Mike Maignan. So as my prediction, I'm going with France. Next, we have Spain versus Belgium. Belgium is a good side, but they don't have just as many talents as Spain, so I'm going to be going with Spain. Next, we have Brazil versus England. You see these two sides, both of them are very talented, but it seems like England is very, very good at this World Cup and have been doing well. But Brazil is usually a flop side of the World Cup, and I'm not going to try and say there's going to be an upset in this game. I'm just going to predict straight up England. Next, Argentina versus Ghana. Both these teams are good, but we already know what the main choice is. It's obviously Argentina. Now moving on to the World Cup semifinals. This is where it gets tricky because now we just have 4 elite sides in a race to win the World Cup. But what I'm going to predict in this one, we've already seen it back in the Euros 2 summers ago. France versus Spain. You know who won that, Spain. And I'm putting Spain in the finals. Next up, England versus Argentina. Argentina coming off of winning the World Cup, but also England coming off of losing in the semifinals of the World Cup, both being 2 really, really good sides. Argentina looks really good in this World Cup, mainly Messi, but you've seen England. England is also good. This one is a hard pick, but I'm picking Argentina, and we have 2 Spanish sides in the final. Okay, now this is where it gets really, really tricky. We're going to be doing a prediction of the final, what the score is going to be, and who the top scorer of the whole entire tournament is going to be. Let's get into it. I think Spain are going to win the World Cup final 3-2, and we're going to have Mbappe being the top scorer even though he got knocked out in the semifinal by Spain. I think he's going to end this World Cup with the 9 total goals in all of these games. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe.